Last week, the Baltimore Orioles came to the East Bay to take on the A's. Bob Melvin and the boys made their life difficult as they split the 4-game series with the O's, who are fighting for a wild card spot in the American League. Tonight, the scene shifts to beautiful Camden Yards as the Athletics take on the O's again for a 3-game set. As the standings tighten up, the Athletics will have a major say in who will be playing in October. It's Game 1, A's, Orioles, next. Well, we are at beautiful Oriole Park at Camden Yards. It rained a little bit this afternoon, but it's going to be a nice night for baseball as Chris Smith is going to make the start for the A's in the first of this 3-game series. It's the Oakland A's and the Baltimore Orioles coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Oakland A's baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Chris Smith will be making his 7th start of the year. He's still looking for his first win as an Athletic, and Ray, doesn't mean he hasn't pitched well enough to get one, but things just haven't fallen right for him, and still looking for that first W.
You know, I can think of 2 that he was sitting on the bench hoping that it would happen, but it did not happen. So let's hope tonight it does work for him, because a couple of starts ago he started against these Orioles. He didn't fare that well, but he's still looking for that elusive win as a starting pitcher at age 36. He said, I'm just happy to still be in the rotation.
For the Baltimore Orioles, 181 home runs as a team, 3rd most in the American League. That's what they do. They got a bunch of boppers in their lineup, and Chris Smith found that out in that last start.
Chris Smith talked about 4 mistakes that he made. You're going to see the 4 mistakes. Here's number 1. That's a hanging breaking ball to Adam Jones. Watch the location of all these pitches, and this tells you why. At the major league level, you make a mistake in the middle of the plate, up, it's gone. Mancini, there's number 1 of 2 that he hit. Chris Smith the next time tried to quick pitch him inside, another home run because the pitch was up. And with Mark Trumbo, the last hitter, again, you look at a pitch that was up in the zone. You make mistakes if you're not throwing 100 miles an hour in that zone. You're going to get hit. 4 times in the game he was hit. He did stand up at the end of the game, said, I made 4 bad pitches. I'll try to do it again tonight. Let's hope he can do it tonight, keep the ball down, keep him in the park.
Now the left-hander Wade Miley was the winning pitcher in that game, and he's going to pitch tonight against the Athletics. So it's a rematch from that start back on the 10th of August. We'll have first pitch when we come back. It's the A's and the Orioles coming up from Camden Yards. beautiful night for baseball here in Baltimore. We're at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, one of our favorite ballparks. Maybe our favorite ballpark. Yep. It is beautiful. Not a big crowd tonight, but a very nice night for game one of this 3-game series. Let's check the game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. It rained this afternoon, but it's, in fact, the tarp was on the field for a little while, about 2 hours ago, but nice sunshine as it's going to be a beautiful night. 79 degrees, plenty of humidity as always here in Baltimore, but it is comfortable. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Athletics, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Rajai Davis is going to lead off. He's going to be in left field tonight. Then Simeon at short, Lowry at second, Chris Davis is your DH, Ryan Healy is the first baseman, Chad Pinder's in right, Matt Chapman at third, Dustin Garneau is the catcher, and Boog Powell will play center field tonight. He's going to hit ninth.
Wade Miley, who started against the Athletics a couple of starts ago. He has since started against Seattle, lost to them, but he did beat the A's, giving up no earned runs in 7 innings of very good baseball, but it was the Orioles offense coming out. The one thing he did in the game against the Athletics in Oakland, see if they make some adjustments tonight, he pitched inside and pitched inside extremely well. Was not afraid to throw the fastball in. See if the hitters think about that tonight and open up looking for the heater.
So Rajai Davis steps in, Miley's ready, and we are rolling with baseball from Camden Yards. First pitch of the game is grounded to short. Across the diamond is Tim Beckham to Chris Davis. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the first inning. Well, Rajai Davis is retired, and that'll bring up shortstop Marcus Simeon. Quick look at the Orioles defense. Mancini in left, Jones in center, Smith in right, Machado, Beckham, Scope, and Davis around the infield third to first, with Wellington Castillo doing the catching. So the first pitch to Marcus Simeon is a strike.
First pitch to Rajai Davis was outside. He tried to roll over and pulled it. So all of a sudden, maybe thinking about what he did in Oakland, he's not doing the same tonight, except that one inside corner.
Well, there's your inside pitch, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And I think that's, you know, Wellington Castillo does move quickly. He moves a lot, as he just did for the pitch inside. And
went in there again.
Yep.
Sean Barber's calling balls and strikes. Ted Barrett, Angel Hernandez, John Tumpain. And Ted Barrett is your crew chief. He's at first base. Well, you were right on cue with pitching inside, right?
Yeah, he loves it. He did it the entire game in Oakland, got away with it, and career against the Athletics, he is a 3-1. One of those coming. And
broken bat, a one hopper. Scope fires to first, 2 away. So 2 ground ball outs for Miley here in the first inning, and now Jed Lowry steps in.
Well, a lot of things is done by the catcher, and one thing that Castillo did in Oakland when he caught Miley, he moved inside rather quickly, and you know, a lot of times he could throw the slider inside, but what Miley did do most of the time was throw the fastball in, and he got a lot of outs on the inner part of the plate.
First pitch to Lowry, he was a little bit low. Lowry at 271, 10 home runs, 42 runs batted in.
I've been a believer a long time that a catcher can tip pitches as well, as much, sometimes as a pitcher can, by the way he moves behind the plate. And I think that times, if an on-deck hitter or somebody would notice that and just relay the information to the hitter, it could be done really without much of anybody really knowing about it. See, he moves inside again.
And he gets the strike.
You see, when he takes his left foot and moves in, I mean, or takes a step to the left, I mean, he's telling the world that the pitch is going to be inside. In the case of lefty on left there, or on righty, it could be a slider, but the fact location for most hitters is what they want. Another pitch inside.
And he got it inside. So is it possible, if you were to do that as teammates, it may not help you in that specific at bat, but it may help you in the next at bat?
Well, the one thing you could do, the on deck hitter could have a sign.
Sure.
Just say, hey, you see that left foot go inside, just let me know. There he goes again. See this left foot? There's the pitch.
It just missed.
And see, hitters will tell you, I don't necessarily want to know the pitch, just tell me the location. Well, if you're looking at the pitch of this location, see he's inside, But if you know a pitch is going to be there, whether it's slider, fastball, changeup, whatever it might be, you can open up, look for it. And it takes the inside corner and essentially puts it down the middle of the plate.
So it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Wade Miley. Couple of ground ball outs and a fly out. No score after half an inning. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Beckham, Machado, Scope, Jones, Mancini, Davis, Trumbo, Castilla, Smith. Lots of power hitters in that Orioles lineup.
And Chris Smith will be concentrating on pitching down in the zone, and he knows that's important for him. He knows he made the 4 mistakes against the Orioles in Oakland, and he knows to be successful, especially in this park, he has to keep the ball down. And let's see if he can do that. Started with the first bat of the game.
So Smith is ready as Tim Beckham steps in.
Okay, if you were right about this weekend, the Orioles and the Orioles and the Angels, I mean, they were just flying out of here left and right. The highlights were nothing more than like a home run derby.
But let me see if I have my notes correct here. The Orioles allowed 11 home runs this weekend, and they hit 6. I think that's right.
Well, Machado hit 3.
I know they allowed 11. And that can happen in this ballpark.
Well, you have low outfield fence, and the ball carries well. And some would say that in left center, see Buck Showalter, 3-time manager of the year, and 8th season with these Orioles. But some would say that the dimensions aren't exactly the way they are listed on the boards because of one guy named Cal Ripken Jr. in left center, because that's where he hit a lot of balls. As a matter of fact, I think he hit a home run on the night that he tied Lou Gehrig, 21-31. Go to left center. It's kind of in an area where Cal hit a lot of home runs, and unlike maybe target field for Joe Mauer, they built this one for one of the hometown players. But it's worked out well for the Orioles.
So 2-2 the count to Beckham. So there's the home run leaders in the American League team-wise. Astros, Rangers, Orioles, Yankees, Rays, and A's. So the A's are 6th. The Orioles are 3rd.
Amazing. A's just saw the Astros. They're seeing the Orioles, and they're going to see the Rangers. And that's all coming up starting Friday in Houston. There's a big home run hitter. Manny Machado hit 3 in one game.
Good pitch inside corner. Strike 3 called. So 1 away here in the bottom of the first. A's defense tonight. Rajay Davis in left. Boop Powell in center. Chad Pinder is in right. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, and Healy on the infield. And Dustin Garneau is your catcher. So here is Machado. But Ray, you were talking about that outfield wall. The wall is only 7 feet high all the way around, except to right field where the home run line is above the out-of-town scoreboard. That is 21 feet high, but that's just really a short part of the entire outfield. But the rest of the wall is only 7 feet, so that is really not very high at all.
And I think the last time we were here, they had lowered the right field wall. The out-of-town scoreboard was lowered down, so it's the fans are standing.
Yeah, it used to be 25 feet. Right, now it's 21 feet.
Exactly, which makes it even easier, lefty or righty, to go that direction. But of course, the big commercial, if you will, of Mike Trout banging into the wall, that was here in right center when he crashed up and brought a home run back.
Machado, a little pop-up on the infield. Lowry has it, and that's out number 2.
Now Chris Smith already with Beckham, a slider inside corner, and with Machado, the ball sinking in as he opened up and went straight up. Not really that hard velocity-wise at 88. Matter of fact, back-to-back starters for the A's, as we have seen with Smith tonight and Blackburn tomorrow night. You have similar type of pitchers. Pitch to contact. Do not really overpower you with any of the pitches. Just try to pitch to the corners, and that's the way you pitch and have success at this level.
Pitchcast tonight is brought to you by Penn Fed Credit Union. So 1-1 to Jonathan Schoop. Tell you what, in this ballpark, you get a 3-up, 3-down inning, you feel pretty good. I mean, even the opposition. Orioles pitchers have taken a pounding this year. Good pitch there by Smith. 2-2 the count.
He's not going to overpower you, and he'll sneak a fastball in just like that when Jonathan Schoop had to be looking for something other than a fastball, because that was center cut, a hittable pitch. With a hesitation there with the fastball misses. Says it all right there.
Change at 74, curve at 76, and the fastball at 85. So he's got to locate. He knows it. Took a little bit off.
Feeling
76 miles an hour, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning. Both pitchers here at Camden Yards.
Chris Smith get him a win. Enough of this. Joe looking for his first win as a starting pitcher. Maybe tonight will be the night. And of course, if the offense could do part number 2, then they'll get a win, because they need to take advantage of this hitter-friendly yard, Camden Yards, and take advantage of it, because it just feels like when you're hitting here that you make good contact, it's a home run. And this guy can hit about anywhere.
He probably doesn't need to make good contact. No. Not in this ballpark.
But
33 home runs and 86 RBI. Just missed 2-0.
Back-to-back pitches inside.
Yep, what a surprise.
Two pitchers that realize they have to pitch, not just be throwers and rear back and throw it. There's another one inside.
Davis has it. Davis fires to Miley, who trips, falls, and he falls right on the bag and gets the out.
Now he's looking back at the ground. I think it was more of him stumbling on his own feet or something, because only one to the right side. Nice play by the other Chris Davis. A nice feed, threw it hard, and then he stumbled. He, being Wade Miley, the pitcher, got the ball and got his feet tangled a little bit. Don't look back, because there's nothing in the field that caused that to happen, except look at you. No,
right,
there's nothing there.
You know what? There's a big rock there. It's a veteran move. It really is a veteran move, but
there's nothing there. There's nothing there. This is as well managed. There's all these major league fields that are manicured. They even had to do it for the game last night in Williamsport. Get it up to major league speed. So you're going to say there's something that caused you to fall down?
Yeah.
But he just happened to fall right on the bag.
Oh, that was beautiful. He pointed right at the ground. Watch this giant log.
Yeah, it's going to happen about right here. Look, there's something going to grab up and bite him right there. It's called his right foot touching his left foot.
This is the best look. Yeah.
And he points
that
back.
Thing right there that I tripped over. Can't fool us, Wade Miley.
This is it. Hey, Ted Barrett, take a look back there. You see that? And he didn't even point in the right direction.
I think he's joking. Really.
Oh, there it is. See that big blade of grass right in the middle?
It'll get you every time. 1-2 to Ryan Healy. Healy, 21 homers, 66 RBIs. Throw in 25 doubles for Healy. Healy having a very good season, but looking deep into his total numbers, his on-base percentage is only .295, and you would think it would be higher than that, but he has only walked 16 times this year. There's a shot knocked down by Beckham. He can't find it, and Healy's going to be aboard.
Wow. Against the A's and Chris Smith, but Wade Miley, he did the same thing he's doing tonight, and he was outstanding as he had 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, inside, hard breaking ball there, curveball there, another curveball. Liked his curveball that night. And a high heater, but he liked to do that, pitch inside. But you know, I'm thinking, Kipe, in Boston, Fenway Park, everybody talks about the short green monster in left field, how it's really there for the taking for home runs. And the Red Sox pitchers over the course of their careers and years, and this is a very good move by Miley, but they would pitch inside because figure you're going to be looking outside, whereas the opposing teams would go in and always pitch the guys outside, figuring they're going to be looking in to pull the ball. And this is kind of like the way Miley's been pitching. Of course, he did at the Coliseum where the ball doesn't travel as well as here. But maybe that's just his philosophy. He does not want the hitters to extend their arms.
And I still think, though, most home run, we talk about this a lot, where most home runs are mistakes, obviously. But I also think most home runs that are hit location-wise are out over the plate.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you extend your arms.
It's not easy to, even if a guy's throwing 88, 89, 90, if he gets it on the inner part of the plate, it's not an easy pitch to get to.
Right. And you'll see most guys, or a lot of hitters, that throw up their arms like it's way inside and it's on the plate for a strike. But you're right, they're really giving up on the inside. Steele going back in there. Last time a strike.
So Wade Miley's breakdown by month this year. Got off to a good start. Really struggled in June and July. 12 starts. And look at the ERA. But 3 starts in August. He's been good. And one of those, of course, that one that we just showed you against the A's. His last start was at Seattle. He gave up 3 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings.
Now that was the old optimum road trip. Anaheim, Oakland, Seattle. From Baltimore, go home.
Beautiful. That start was Tuesday. So 3-1 to Chad Pinder.
Let's see if this pitch, nice block by Castillo using his glove, his body. See if he sets up inside on 3-1. The problem pitcher has, and it's pretty evident that Miley does not have a problem pitching in. It's another pitch inside. Just watch Castillo. So it's a fastball in.
And he missed inside.
But the one thing that Miley does well, he doesn't have the ball come back. The danger inside from a lefty to a righty is having a sinking action, bringing it back to the plate. But every time he misses, it's off the plate.
Yeah, and it almost looks like his ball will cut in a little bit and make it in even more.
And that last pitch, you know, it might have been a cutter. It had the movement for a cutter, and maybe he did it for that reason.
That's an issue, though. The most walks in the major leagues. That was number 73. He's done that in 127 innings. So you usually figure a guy who's walking a lot of people is a hard thrower who maybe can't find the strike. So that's really not the case with Miley. I mean, he's a bit of a dart thrower. One 1-0 to Chapman. 2-0 to Chapman. And now he's being Miley, getting himself in trouble. Chapman at 223 with 9 home runs, 24 runs batted in. Goes inside, and now it's 3-0.
Pretty good patience by the Athletics, because those pitches are tempting. And you know, the one thing that Darren Bush, the ace hitting coach, they see the tendencies of pitchers, and perhaps telling these hitters, hey, remember what he did in his last start against the Athletics. He walked 3, the bullpen 2, 5 walks the A's received in the game against Miley, not 1 scored.
There's a 3-0 strike. So a 1-out hit by Healy and then a Pinder walk. Swing and a miss, kept the ball away from Chapman.
He was looking inside. You open up that much, it's a pretty good indication that you're thinking a pitch inside, and watch his front side open up. And you know, he's got power. He can hit him out of this park any place with his power.
Down the right field line, Smith hustling over. He's not going to get it. It's off the wall. Healy's rounding third. Healy is going to come in to score. Pinder's going to try to score. Castilla has it, and they got him. So Healy scores. Pinder called out at the plate. Chapman stops at second base. Pinder said that he thinks he was safe.
Well, I just wonder if Steve Scarsone, he might have gotten under the tag. See if the left hand, he's out by putting the ball, beats him, but does he get around the tag? He stopped.
Ooh.
And now they're going to say no. They're going to take a chance. But you know, the thing that they might have been thinking on that Steve Scarsone, that the throw would come into second base and keep running.
Yeah, no question.
But the ball came to the cutoff man, which was Scope, towards first base, and he was able to make the throw.
So give Chapman the RBI double. So 2 outs. Here's Garneau. So the slide by Pinder, but this is something we talk about, Rick. When you slide head first into home plate, it's easier to maneuver around with your arms and with your hands than it is with your legs.
And
he almost got in there.
He almost did. if he could have rolled over and come around with his right hand, he might have been a Baker. But the fact that he even did that much was amazing.
You slide feet first. There's not a whole lot you can do.
But you know, I said about the throw going to second. We don't know if he ran through a stop sign. Who knows what might have happened? I couldn't see Steve Scarsone sitting him or not. But I mean, with the play coming in, probably the fact that Smith threw the ball, Scope got it at the cutoff man versus the throw going to second base. See, he's throwing towards the plate, and there's Scope. He looked to second, but normally on a play like that, the outfielder will come up throwing to second, trying to get the runner going for two. Instead, Smith did the right thing, threw it to the cutoff man, conceding the double to Smith or to Chapman, and maybe the speed he was going to get to second easy.
So 2-2 the count to Dustin Garneau. Dustin Garneau is the best looking bat in the game right now. Check it out. Is that a good looking bat? Oh yeah.
You want to frame it, sign it, and put it on a rack. You know what Dustin would say? Give me some marks on it, some hits, so I can look at it. Yeah, that's a good looking bat. Steve Vucinich, who is the man next to Connie Mack and the A's media guy, has been there forever. He gets to order all those bats. I just wonder, I have to ask Vuce, who makes that bat? It's almost like a souvenir bat.
2 pitch is a drilled foul, and Vuce is not on this trip.
No, it's Brian Davis.
Brian Davis does a terrific job. Vuce had to stay home. He said he's got so much work at home that he needed to just stay home and get everything done.
Well, you got the big Dennis Eckersley weekend. You got the players' jerseys with nicknames. There's Brian Davis, the assistant to Steve Vucinich. So he is on this trip. Got a win yesterday. I always think about guys when they make trips about how many wins they could get. Eric Kubota has the record.
He's got it. Eric Kubota can do it all. He can do it all. 1-0 the A's lead on the Chapman double.
Through August the 27th. That's this weekend at MLBshop.com with limited edition A's jerseys and tees featuring player pick nicknames. Should be a great weekend for that. Wear the gear the players will wear on the field next weekend. Available while supplies last at MLBshop.com. What's your nickname, Kite? Kite?
Boy, oh boy. I don't know.
Oh, gee, I thought it was just Kite.
Boy, oh boy. Yeah, let's probably go with that since.
Well, how about.
I have friends that have been my friends for 40 years that have never called me by my first name. Never. And if they did, I wouldn't even probably respond.
Well, I call you Brother Kipe and you Kipe, so I don't know. I guess
as long as we're not in the same room, and very seldom are all three of us together. One and one the count to Jones. Adam Jones will be followed by Mancini and Davis.
It's part of the batting order that took Chris Smith deep a couple of starts ago at the Coliseum. Davis did not play, but Trumbo did. He's the DH tonight.
Adam Jones with 22 home runs and 61 runs batted in. Broken bat, and that's going to drop in front of Rajay Davis for a hit. So a leadoff single for Adam Jones. Interesting notes from yesterday's 3-2 A's win in Houston. Check it out. A's scored 3 runs without an RBI. It's the first time in Oakland A's history the A's scored 3 or more runs without collecting an RBI.
Look at Campy. Last time it happened.
Last time in A's history, 4-2 win at the White Sox. Kurt Campbell scored all 4 runs. Steal a home, wild pitch, little league home run, pass ball, a little bit of everything.
That's great. I like that. Your call immediately about the little league home run in the first inning was great. That was great.
Also, it was just the 5th time this season that the A's won a game without hitting a home run. The A's have relied a lot on the home run this year.
Chris Smith can get a shutdown inning, he'll win this game. I'm predicting, because it seems like every time the A's have scored a run for Chris Smith this year, the next half inning he's given up a run. So let's hope he can get the shutdown. And he's getting in trouble because he got a fastball in on. See, there's the 8 for 13. It just seems like it happens. Got the ball in on Adam Jones, broke his bat, got a single.
Well, 3-0 to Mancini, and the way he approached it, it looked like he may have had the green light, but he takes outside.
Well, this was it yesterday. The ball in the hole by Marcus Semien. The bat throw by Bregman did not have a grip. Altuve couldn't get it. So Boog Powell's going to score. Reddick's going to throw it in, cut off by Marvin Gonzalez. He throws to third. He makes a bad throw. Hey, Davis should have gotten his body in front of that one. Looking at that, tried to backhand the ball. So Marcus Semien, just a simple ground ball to short, turns out to be a run for him.
And how many times do you see it happen where a play like that? Well, no, not a play like that, but where an unearned run is part of a play, and the final score, it's a 1-run game.
And the passed ball. That's the intent. Exactly. But you're right. It turns out that there's 1 run. If you look back on it, as it turned out, it was not an RBI. And what has already happened tonight with Matt Chapman, got an RBI, something the A's did not do in the game yesterday, and they won.
0-1 to Chris Davis, 19 home runs, 47 runs batted in.
Talk about power to all fields. This young man has it.
Just missed. So the count 1-1 to Davis with Mark Trumbo waiting in the on-deck circle. There's really not a break in the Orioles lineup as far as facing somebody that's not a power hitter. Well, there's guys that have holes in their swings that you can get them out with a good pitch, but everybody fairly legitimate power hitter. He rolled right at home plate.
Scary thing here for the A's is they're shifting him, expecting Chris Davis to pull the ball, and that one was off speed. He would have gotten out in front and tried to pull it, but it also is a huge gap on the left side. That ball got him the right foot, and it came up and hit him again. See, the hole is a huge hole. Chapman has to play close because Jones is capable of stealing. trying to get Chris Davis out now.
And he reached for it, fouls it back to the screen.
The thing about pitching in Baltimore this time of the year, doesn't take much to get loose. Just kind of walk out on the field and say,
walk to the bullpen,
ready to go.
In the air to left field. Rajai Davis is back in front of the wall. Rajai reaches up, makes the catch. He dropped it, and they're saying no catch. They're saying no catch.
Yeah.
It looked like Rajai had it, and then he was going to throw it in, and then he dropped it. But the third base umpire, John Tumpane, put both of his hands out in kind of a safe sign, and that means
Well, they're going to take
no
they're
catch.
going to take a look at it, but look. He might have had it against the wall, Captain. As he caught it there, banged the wall kind of caused the ball to come out of his glove. And I don't know. They're not going to take a look at it, but it's banging against the wall. He could not hang on. And Jones was tagging, but watch him hit the wall. Fan did pull back, but hit the wall. And when he hit the wall, it scoots out. And remember, these outfielders are using big gloves, and so you can't squeeze it because of the webbing.
So it was not dropped on any transfer. It just popped out of his glove.
So the wall caused the bounce out or the fall out of his glove. See, that ball was off the end of the bat and almost went out. That's the scary part about this part.
Here's Trumbo with the bases loaded, nobody out. Give Chris Davis a single. So boy, did that change the complexion of this inning.
It's got to be first and third, one out. Now bases loaded, nobody out. But Rajai might have been fooled by the way the ball was hit and how far it carried. Maybe he thought that he was not going to be against the wall.
And that one is hit deep to left field. Rajai Davis at the wall, just enough room, and he makes the catch. Adam Jones hustles in from third. So Trumbo with a sacrifice fly. This game is tied at 1.
Well, thankfully the ball stayed in the park, because it's amazing the way the ball carries. This is a breaking ball, and he provided his own power. It's like a chip shot. Chip shot that almost was a grand slam. Rajai forced back to the wall again, but this time Mancini at second did not tag. And that would have been a time to tag like Jones was going to on Chris Davis's Chris Davis's ball.
Now, Trumbo picks up his 55th RBI. Here's Wellington Castillo. Castillo grounds one to Lowry. Lowry to second for one, on to first. Double play. 4-6-3 double play that ends the bottom of the second. A run for the Orioles. So we're tied at 1 after 2.
is brought to you by Pete's Cold Brew. The true cold brew that's always cold, so it's always fresh. Pete's is coming in cold to a store near you.
Well, that part of Baltimore is called the Inner Harbor. It's where our hotel is, and it's actually pretty close to where we are at here at Camden Yards.
Nice thing about that area is a lot of water taxis.
That's right.
Take a little boat, go through the harbor, and
nice area.
Over to Fort McHenry, which is the great history area for the fort, for the Star Spangled Banner, what was written. The history in this fine city.
Here's Boog Powell. Powell, Davis, and Simeon. Here in the top of the third. 1-1 game. Here's the big Boog Powell meeting is going to happen tomorrow, we are told. The A's Boog Powell meets the former Oriole great Boog Powell, who's got Boog's Barbecue out in right field. So they're going to meet tomorrow for the first time.
Well, Mac will really enjoy meeting Boog. This being Mac here. And Boog Powell is a gentleman. He's a very nice man. My brother and I got a chance to play with Boog in Cleveland. We got to wear those beautiful red uniforms.
That's right.
There it is. Boog's Barbecue.
Look at that. See, they're not messing around.
Let's go. Just bring it right here. Wow, that is good stuff.
And if you're lucky, Boog's out there. Once in a while, he's out there. But boy, you walk by there and you get about 20 feet, 30 feet from Boog's Barbecue, and you start smelling it, and it is awesome.
So when the game starts tomorrow, this Boog Powell will be out there having some Boog's Barbecue.
You should. There's the big fella.
Oh, man.
Orioles, Indians, Dodgers. Four-time All-Star. Won a couple World Series with the Orioles.
And a gentleman.
He was the MVP in 1970. So, leadoff walk for the younger Boog Powell.
Well, as a great Jim Palmer would say, it's a little like Frank Howard there, but Boog Powell was big, but he played left field when he first came up. Watch this swing. Yeah! He put everything into it. I mean, Boog at first, Davey Johnson at second, Mark Belanger at short, Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson at third. Those guys were together a long time. 14 seasons for the Booger, 300+ home runs.
And he was your teammate in Cleveland in 1976. He had 2 years with the Indians, 75 and 76.
That's when we trained down in Tucson, and he loved to go out. A lot of good food in Tucson. He loved every bit of it.
I to Rajay Davis. Davis swung at the first pitch of the game in the first inning, and he grounded to short. A's come in with a record of 54 and 70, so they are playing game number 125. And 39 on the road. Scope's got it. Out at second, and that's a double play. So 4-6-3 double play, 2 away here in the third.
Problem with this defense, problem for any team playing the Orioles with this defense, is they're good. They don't make errors. They're very talented in the infield. J.J. Hardy starting his rehab, and I don't know what he's going to do or they're going to do when he comes back, because Beckham has done a very good job at shortstop. Scope has been outstanding. He's learned a lot from J.J. Hardy, but Tim Beckham, acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays, has been outstanding.
First pitch to Simeon on the inside corner, first strike. J.J. Hardy, he's starting his rehab today, right? At AAA Norfolk. But he's missed a couple months.
Yes, he has. And the real problem for some of the players that minor league seasons are running out. And the teams that go into postseason, playing the playoffs, that's one thing. But you've got an injury and you're approaching September 1st. You may not be able to go out on a rehab assignment.
You missed 2 months. Yeah. I mean, that's not a 3 or 4 game rehab assignment. I mean, you're going to be down there for a couple weeks.
Well, that's going spring training all over again. Trying to just get through spring training, and As he was quoted as saying he's not going to need that much time before he can come back, but maybe wishful thinking.
Well, plus, what are you going to do when he comes back?
Well, exactly.
Are you going to take Beckham out of the lineup?
Not the way he's hitting over 400 since he joined the club. Hardy at one time was hitting home runs left and right as a leadoff hitter, but he's declined a little bit. I would venture to say that he's going to be an extra infielder, and the veteran helping these guys. Yeah, there's no place to play. I mean, Scope having a great year both sides of the ball. Beckham, they got him for the reason that he's doing it right now.
2-2 pitch, and that's a swing and a miss, and that's the first strikeout for Wade Miley. If you're hungry, get out to Boog's Barbecue. They'll take good care of you.
Yeah,
tell them Ray Fosse sent you. Your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. It is a 1-1 game, bottom of the third. Smith will face Seth Smith, Tim Beckham, and Manny Machado. Smith hitting in the ninth spot, 269 with 12 home runs and 28 RBIs. Orioles coming off that weekend against the Angels where they lost 2 out of 3, so that was a big series in the wild card. And the Angels came in and they won the series.
Especially Cap after the Friday night game in which Machado had the 3 home runs, the walk-off slam. You'd think that's going to propel them to have a great weekend, but then they lost the next 2.
I guess that answers the momentum in baseball question.
That's right.
It does not exist.
Well, the momentum probably is your starting pitcher. Because if you give up home runs, and they were jumping that night.
Or Mike Trout.
Oh, gosh.
So the Orioles overall have lost 4 out of their last 5. They're 60 and 64 now. And they are 4 games back of the second wild card team. In this case, teams, the Twins and the Angels are tied for that second wild card spot. Problem for the Orioles is there's too many teams in between that second wild card and them. Sometimes that's more of the problem than the amount of games you are back. So Smith is retired.
Well, Manny Machado, what a night he had. 3 home runs. There's number 1. Right center. And then that was Andrew Heaney making the first start since this was it. The walk-off grand slam. And you can hear the crowd. It had to be a huge crowd on Friday night and walk-off, but the next 2 games they lost.
He has been a hot hitter for a couple months now after a very slow start. Major League history, 3 home run games, with the 3rd being a walk-off grand slam. We remember Chris Davis doing it. Joey Votto did it back in 2012. Chris Davis did it last year against the Texas Rangers early in the season. 0-2 the count to the leadoff man, Tim Beckham. So the Orioles got their work cut out for them. Between them and the 2 second wild card teams, the Royals, the Mariners, the Rangers, and the Rays.
That's a lot of scoreboard watching.
That's a lot.
A lot of scoreboard watching and hoping for other teams to help you, because you need help. If you're one of those 4 teams and are below those teams, you have to look at the scoreboard and hope the teams that are playing, and you have to play yourself and play to win. Right now they're playing a team, the A's. They probably think they can have success, but the A's split the 4-game series in Oakland. And I don't think you can ever take any team lightly, because anything can happen.
The Orioles have a good home record. They're 36-25, and they're in a stretch right now where they are playing 16 of 19 games at home. So from a home and away schedule standpoint, they're in a good spot to try to get a winning streak going. What does happen with these wild card races when there's a lot of teams involved and they're fairly close, we've seen it probably 3 or 4 times in the last 3 weeks, Ray, where that's all it takes is a 4-game winning streak.
Exactly. That's right.
And all of a sudden you're the second wild card team.
That's right. Well, the Angels came out of nowhere. The Rangers came out of nowhere. The Rays seem to be right there, but you're right.
3-2 now to Beckham.
Second time through the batting order, you can see Beckham, even though he fell behind 0-2, but he's been very patient to get the count now to 4. I don't think he can look for a fastball, although he's going to get one. Might surprise him.
Bounced up the middle, and that's going to get through in the center field. So Beckham with a 1-out single. Beckham was so good against the A's in that series in Oakland. Beckham had 8 hits in the 4-game series at the Coliseum.
Smith falling off to the left, just enough for this ball to go to his right. Marcus Semien not there to handle it, but you see pitchers, and we saw Dallas Keuchel Friday night in Houston. Of course, the great Greg Maddux. How pitchers, when they finished, boom, they're right there. And there's a perfect example of what we talked about with Keuchel and McHugh, the second starter. You field your position, especially a ball that's close. You can take away a lot of hits.
First pitch to Machado. Swing and a miss.
Only hope from Chris Smith and the A's standpoint that Machado continues to do this. He's swinging hard and the ball's not close. And if he stays back with his power, he doesn't have to swing that hard. The A's, though, hope he continues and Chris Smith can make those pitches away from him. And down.
And it's 0-2.
These are frustrating times for a hitter to have a pitcher throw that way, and you're saying, please throw me a hard fastball. Chris Smith doesn't have it, and that's his philosophy, is keep pulling the string, throwing soft stuff, and try to get hitters to have big swings. It's going to be a slider, just try to get him to chase.
And that one, Cass Garneau. Beckham will go to second base. And that takes away the double play.
It's a wild pitch, but one thing Dustin did not do is put the glove on the ground. It stayed down, and this is one of the problems when you go down, you come up, you just don't get the glove down in enough time. And it scoots right between the wickets.
Two pitches, line just fouled on the third base line.
The time it did stay back, and the pitch stayed in the inner part of the plate. Pitch that he missed twice. And he is strong. He's picking between the wickets.
On deck is Jonathan Schoop. 2-2 to count. Machado popped out in the first inning. Machado got off to a very slow start this year. First couple months. Since July 1st, he's hit .342. Line foul. 77 miles an hour, so he's still out in front. He's doing his best to stay back.
Well, there's not much he can do with the pitch that he's pulled foul except do that. And it stays inside. And if he does make contact, it's hard to keep it fair. Adam Jones did. Mansteady broke his bat. Looked a base hit to left field.
Pitch, broken bat. Simmons got it. He looks toward third and throws across to first for the second out. So Beckham slides in safely to third base.
Really, with that being the second out, no reason to take a chance, although very tempting, but also the fact the bat was broken, was not hit extremely hard. And Beckham took a chance. But get the sure out and hope that your pitcher can get the third out. Infield can play back. If it had been nobody out, might have gone to keep him from getting a third with less than 2 outs. Also could have been a double play had the wild pitch not occurred.
First pitch to Schoop is low. Just looking at Jonathan Schoop's seasons leading up to this one, Ray. You think he hasn't come a long way? It's 2014, his first full year in the big leagues. 209, 16 home runs and 45 runs batted in. And there's a liner foul. And then in 2015, he played in 86 games in the big leagues. 279, 15 home runs, 39 RBIs. Last year, every game he played. 267, 25 homers, 82 RBIs. So he really started to put it together last year. This year, 303, 26 and 88. That is a nice progression.
Well, and especially for a second baseman that's not really known to be a power hitter and a big offensive player, although in today's world they are. That's not a bad pitch.
And those two guys hitting 2 and 3 in the lineup since the All-Star break, just doing major damage. Each have 34 RBIs since the break. Tough pair to get through. A little bit inside, 3-1.
After last inning, remember the 4-pitch walk to Mancini. After the inning, Chris Smith walked by Tom Barber, the home plate umpire, and had a conversation with him. And I wonder, because the 3-0 pitch was exactly the one that he threw to Schoop that he did not call. It's right down the middle, but low, evidently, according to the home plate umpire. I just wonder if it was a question about that one, and if you'd have a similar question about this one. That was a very good breaking ball, and Schoop was looking for something he didn't come close to getting. That was a slide away out of the strike zone. Nice block by Darno this time. Garner.
So full count to Schoop. Bounce foul off speed pitch from Smith. She handled that one. What do you think about the Orioles and how trying to figure out how to sign Manny Machado after next year?
Is that the same year Harper's a free agent?
Yeah. Schoop may be the guy to give the money to.
That's right. Another off speed pitch.
Healy waits. Healy's got it, so Smith does a good job and gets out of the inning. Side retired. Beckham has a single. He ends up being stranded at third. We're headed to the fourth. It's a 1-1 game, the A's and the Orioles. Proud to partner with Coors Light for a special ticket offer. Visit www.CoorsLightBaseball.com today to get 50% off the purchase of up to 8 tickets for the September 4th game versus the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Coors Light and the A's together on mountains is creating a more sustainable world. Lowry to lead it off, bounces one to Machado. Big hop, fires across. Lowry's retired on one pitch, one out here in the fourth inning.
Well, really, Miley is kind of like Chris Smith. You have to be patient as a hitter. If you try to go after a pitch, you're going to do that. You're going to beat a breaking ball in the dirt. And sometimes you have to gauge, and it's hard to imagine being able to stay back and a pitcher not being able to throw a fastball by you. You can sit back and maybe not be too anxious. It's going to help you, whether it's facing Miley or facing Chris Smith. And really, the pitchers in this case love aggressive hitters, just like Scope 3 and 2. Popped up a ball that was an off-speed pitch. With certain pitchers, you shouldn't even think fastball. You should almost think off-speed. And if you do, you might have a better chance. But I've seen too many pitchers that just love to see hitters up there swinging hard, because you can throw right through them by throwing off-speed pitches.
Strike on the outside corner, 1-1 to Chris Davis, who grounded out to first. First at bat. Chris struggling a little bit, 0 for his last 13. The way I look at that, Ray, that means there's a hot streak coming.
That's right.
Pitch usage for Miley. Lots of fastballs, so he's got other pitches. He likes that slider, but he really uses his fastball a lot for a guy who doesn't necessarily throw hard, but it's a strikeout there of Davis. So 2 away, and here's Ryan Healy. Check this out. Highest batting average versus left-handers this season. Ryan Healy is 4th. Super versus the southpaws indeed. So Healy 347 against lefties, 241 against righties. Healy did not necessarily agree with that call.
But you saw what he did with his hands. He kind of lifted them up.
And really, it looked like a decent pitch.
Yes, it was. And hitters just do not like pitches inside. This is not. See what Castillo does, and this is the pitch that Healy questioned, but it's a little cutter. Just catches the inside corner, but he kind of backs off with the hands. But you watch Castillo with a cutter fastball inside, he'll move in, but then the breaking ball, see, there you go, the breaking ball kind of set straight up in the middle of the plate.
So you said most hitters, they just don't like pitches inside. Is it then that if you don't like pitches inside, you don't look for pitches inside?
That's right. Exactly. And you know, most hitters, because they dive at balls, and that's why anything inside kind of looks like it's going to hit them. And if they're diving, what do they have to do is back off, even though the pitch is on the corner. As the old saying goes, get him out of the kitchen. And that means get him out of the inside part of the plate, and all you have to do is cheat every once in a while, and maybe he'll throw it back to the outside part of the plate.
So he went inside, and now it's 3-2.
And that was a 3-1 cutter slider. Had a big break on it, but more of a slider, and that's why the percentage is high after the fastball. Fastball could be both 4-seam, 2-seam, and cutter, whereas that was a true slider. Something inside.
Sure. So if a pitcher like Miley sees a swing like that from Healy got a little jumpy in the 3-1. He's got to like that, the pitcher, knowing that the hitter's a little anxious.
And that's what the hitters are doing against Chris Smith. They're getting anxious on pitches that they should not be. Goes in.
3-2 pitch, and that's a good pitch. A little cutter at 89, and a couple of strikeouts for Wade Miley in the top of the fourth. 1-1 game as we head to the bottom of the fourth.
Ryan Healy, and here we go. In, away, down, 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 and watch this. Boom, down and in, and then finishes off with the cutter inside. So kind of teased him with the curveballs away. He took those, but ultimately, to get the out, he went back to the slider 3-1, and then he went cutter inside and struck him out. And that's good pitching by Wade Miley, as we were talking between innings. Wade Miley had consistent control. He could really carve up hitters by doing just what he did to Ryan Healy.
First pitch to Adam Jones, a little bit inside. Jones, Mancini, and Davis here in the bottom of the fourth.
You have to wonder, Chris Smith sits in the dugout and goes, okay, next three guys coming up next inning. Oh my gosh, the same guys. Here we go again.
2-0 pitch, 77 miles an hour. You see Adam Jones talking to himself.
That mustard looked good to Larry, but the barbecue from Boogs looks better.
Really? Yeah, I agree. And that one is drilled to left field, and the Orioles take the lead. Line drive home run by Adam Jones, his 23rd of the year.
And Kite, what you're going to see with Adam Jones is that front side opening up because they pitched him inside pretty consistently. And you have to be careful because he fought off a pitch the first at bat, broke his bat with the base hit, but this time go in enough. Watch what happens. Watch the front side open. He was looking for it. He got it. And this time it wasn't a broken bat. It was off the sweet part of the bat, and it got out in a hurry. And that's where you have to be smart as a catcher and watch what hitters do and how they approach a particular at bat.
That is skied toward the left field corner, and Raj Davis makes the catch. So that's out number 1. Check out the fan on the home run. Wow. Nice play.
Rex Barney, longtime public address announcer. Give that fan a contract. Oh, is he great?
Yeah, I would not mess with that guy. Yeah, how you doing?
Oh, cool.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah.
That was me.
Rex Barney.
He gave a little hand wave. How you doing?
You know, Rex might not have offered him a contract. He might have just said, no, you think you're too good. So I want a fan behind that jumps up. And, you know, this guy out there says, I'm here for a reason.
I'm here for one reason. Catch home runs. Lowry scoops it up. Flips to first, and that's out number 2.
Rex Barnes.
Well, let's just hope he's not putting the baseballs like in the bag.
Yeah,
home.
yeah, give it to somebody. Yeah.
Because I saw a little backpack there.
No, really.
You know, and get out here for batting practice, that kind of thing. You know, because I think you and I both agree that
it's not good.
Fans should not take 5 or 6 balls home. Not when there's a whole bunch of youngsters at the ballpark who you could make their day by giving them a baseball. Send a kid home happy.
And there's a lot of kids probably out in left field looking for a baseball, so you could have a number of kids out there that you can make happy.
A lot of kids come to the Coliseum looking for a baseball. Send them home happy. And you know what? Most of our fans do. See what's in the Under Armour bag. That's what I like.
What if he just bought up all the seats around him?
Under the glove of a diving Chapman. Trundle's got a drive base hit. 5 hits now for the Baltimore Orioles.
And another pitch in the inner half of the plate, and a bullet by, if he gets by Matt Chapman diving, it's a pretty good hit and hit hard.
Yeah, if Matt Chapman dives late for a ball, that means it's hit hard. Matt Chapman's a quick diver.
See it.
Here's Castillo, who hit into a 4-6-3 double play in the second inning.
Brooks Robinson, best hand, 16 Gold Gloves. Frank Howard hit a ball so hard like that, and before Brooks could get his hands up, it went right over his head. That's scary.
Yeah, if he's not going to get it.
Hondo, when he put his body into it, big Frank Howard. The saying goes, the bigger you are, the nicest person you are. Like Boog Powell,
yeah.
Frank Howard,
Harmon Killebrew.
I mean, these guys never want to mess with Hondo.
just missed. Close pitch by Smith.
He called the previous one down in that same zone a strike, but there's nothing wrong with that one. I mean, if you call one, you have to think the other because it had the plate. A little bit more movement on that one.
Should have been a strike. That one is swinging 2-2.
Lift the slider in off speed with the slider. Had Castillo looking fastball way out in front. On to the batting order this time, Chris Smith. I see that's danger in there. Well, maybe throwing to first base and catchers would do that, but you almost have to show way up and in, almost knocking a hitter down inside to go back outside, especially the right-handers, which is stayed in. That's when Adam Jones opened up. Mancini got under one that was in. Trumbo hit a base hit to left field on the pitch in.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 73 miles an hour. Home run for Adam Jones. It was his 23rd of the year. So the Orioles now have a 2-1 lead after 4.
Sports California is brought to you by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition and its 30 NorCal locations. Professional health and nutrition advice available for all ages.
So beautiful night here at Camden Yards. A little damp. Rain for a while.
Cooled it off a little bit between.
And Chad Pinder says, I'm going to go after the first pitch, and he's got himself a base hit.
I thought between the total eclipse of the sun and the little dampness here, the rain cooled it off a little bit.
That's true.
His curveball didn't get where he wanted, actually, as a hanger, so a good idea by Chad Pinder to jump on the first offering. At times, the first pitch curveball will be just a first pitch, or their strike or ball, but if it hangs like that, you might as well go for it. And Chad Pinder did.
So leadoff man aboard, third hit for the A's, and that'll bring up Matt Chapman, who doubled in a run. He's only run in the second inning. Chapman hit a ball off the out-of-town scoreboard in right field. For Chapman, his 15th double of the year, so he's got 15 doubles in 47 games. That's a pretty good number.
To go with the 9 home runs, and who knows, maybe in the future we may be looking at a hitter with 100 extra base hits, which is very hard to do.
That's very hard.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few. Albert Bell, who played here, did it. Stan Musial did it. But it is, I mean, Albert Bell had, I think, 50 doubles and 50 home runs. No triples, but that's a spectacular season.
3-0 to Chapman with Weston Garneau waiting in the on-deck circle.
And this is the second at bat, back-to-back at bats, 3-0. He took the first one. Yeah, good. Let's see. That's a good, powerful swing on 3-0. You know, maybe after the first one, when he took it, maybe we went back to the dugout. Bob Melvin said, you know, you're going to get a fastball. Maybe if you get it again, why don't you swing at it? Because Bob Melvin may give the green light, doesn't mean the hitter will do it. Some are not comfortable enough to swing on 3-0.
Had a good swing on that off-speed pitch. Maybe Chapman's seeing Miley well.
Yeah.
So 3-2 with Pinder at first. Pinder with pretty good speed. And the pitch is on the inside corner, strike 3 call. Now Chapman, who doesn't say a whole lot, has a quick chat with Sean Barber, the home plate umpire.
You know, if a pitcher stays in that much, the umpire knows it. The catcher, of course, definitely knows it, calling the pitches.
So with 1 out, here's Garneau. Garneau hit a soft line drive to Manny Machado in the second inning. Rangers and the Angels are squaring off tonight in Anaheim. That's a 4-game series and an important series in an American League wild card race. Angels are the second wild card team. Rangers 2.5 back. Hit toward left, and it's going to drop fair. Pinder stops at second base. Garneau's got himself a hit. So 2 on and 1 out. So a couple of hits. So there's the full wild card standings. And see the Royals, Mariners, 1.5 out. Rangers 2.5. Rays 4. Orioles 4. Blue Jays 5. So remember how we said, Ray, how the Orioles 4 back, that's not an insurmountable number, but it's the amount of teams in between them and that second wild card destination. So to really make a move, you got to have all those teams ahead of you lose, and you have to win. Exactly. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you start scoreboard watching, you start saying, well, hey, the Rangers are playing the Angels, got to pull for the Angels.
Who do you cheer for?
Yeah, you know, but you know, meanwhile, you better pull for yourself to win here and see what happens.
2-0. It's Hamels and Skaggs, a couple of lefties set to square off in that one. Pitch to Powell is high, and now it's 3-0.
Something about Powell being the only lefty in the A's lineup, and that's his 3-2. This first at bat walked him, and now 3-0 in this at bat.
I think there's something to that, though.
I agree 100%. The A's, Chris Smith, seeing righties, he's got a few lefties, but
missed outside, and he walked him.
And I think there's a lot. I mean, his style of pitching, his being Miley, is inside to righties and a little curveball away. But get a lefty, what do you do? Those 4 fastballs and not one was close.
And that's not uncommon for a starting pitcher. A left-handed reliever, generally, he's going to face left-handed hitters.
But you know, the mistake probably Castillo made in that sequence of pitches, he never went away from the fastball. Why not throw curveball, just a cutter or something? Because he's having trouble throwing the 4-seam fastball, just trying to throw it for a strike.
So great opportunity. The bases are loaded, 1 out, and Rajai Davis is the hitter. Pinder at third, Garneau at second, Powell at first. First pitch to Davis is a strike on the outside corner.
Back to normal, the right-handed hitter. Rajay just cheat on a pitch inside if you get it. And up to 2 strikes, you can take a chance. This is outside or curveball.
Yep. Blocked by Castillo.
Well, it's a curveball. You anticipate it. And you worry about blocking the ball instead of catching it. That's what he did nicely. Inside.
Just missed. So Miley tried to get a strike in there. Almost did.
Little cut action and cut a little bit too much.
Buck is making the call. 2-1 pitch. Scope's got it. Steps on second. Throws the first double play. So Scope decided to take it himself. 4-3 double play, and the A's do not score. As our A's insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball. You can also get it on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. Joe's latest guest is the A's Chief Operating Officer, Chris Giles.
We don't mind that, Joe, but when you run out of guests, you better go to my partner.
Yeah, and I don't do it without you. So
well, and he can't be going to the bottom either. You know, he's got to step up. I mean, the season's almost over, and I can understand Chris Giles, Matt Pearl, Dave Cowell, even John Fisher. But come on, guy, you got to be right there.
Hope it works out. 1-1 to Seth Smith. Beckham to follow, and then Machado. Bottom of the 5th inning, 2-1. The Orioles lead. Smith grounded out in his first at bat. That one just off the plate. Minnesota Twins, who are tied for that second wild card spot, they are playing a doubleheader today or tonight in Chicago. It'll be a long night. First game, White Sox 7, Twins 6, bottom of the 8th inning. So they got another one to play yet. So that could either be a really good day for the Twins, or Twins have won 4 in a row, so there's one of those winning streaks, Ray, that gets you where you want to get to. And for the Twins, they are holding down that spot right now. And it's a leadoff walk to Seth Smith. So walk number 2 for Chris Smith. He has struck out 3. And now he's back to the top of the order. So 3rd time through the lineup for Smith. Tim Beckham has struck out and he has singled. Nice block by Garneau.
Well, this is how you block it. Of course, it's an off-speed pitch and go down. And the problem, though, still exists, and you need to jam the catcher's mitt into the ground. That's what blocking will do. And sometimes the ball does stay down, as it did a couple of innings ago. Blocking balls in the dirt, probably the hardest thing for a catcher.
And that would hook down the left field line. Could be trouble, and it is just foul. 1-1 the count. Beckham just out in front a little bit too much.
And hooking just enough from the A's standpoint that it did go foul, barely.
How about that? And those 19 games are with the Baltimore Orioles. And he was having a pretty good season with the Rays. So just a quiet trade between 2 teams in the same division, the Rays and the Orioles. Remember, the Rays picked up Echeverria, the shortstop for the Marlins, who's a pretty good player, and that's kind of what made Beckham expendable. Picked him up. It may turn out to be a terrific move by them. J.J. Hardy. The Orioles have a club option on Hardy for next year, and it's worth $14 million. I'm not sure that that's going to happen. And if it doesn't, you got Beckham. He's quite a bit younger than Hardy. So a good trade right now and a good trade for the future for the Orioles. Beckham is first player taken in the draft. 2006, I think. And he's finally coming into his own. Waves that bat over top of his head. Hustling over his Healy. Healy slides, and he caught it.
What a play.
Wow. Right in front of the Orioles dugout. Even they have to be impressed with that.
That was an emergency swing trying to protect by Beckham, and he thought I'm going to get another pitch. But Ryan Healy probably jammed his right knee into the ground as he went after it. Sliding, I don't think so much the sidewall. It's probably watch the left knee if it, or the right knee. It did bang against, but it's soft. But I just wonder when he jammed his knee into the ground right there and then hit. Left knee was up on the screen, which protects.
Also, too, Ray, at the bottom of the netting there is concrete.
Yes, it is.
He may have banged his knee against that. There's enough of a concrete lip there where you would bang your knee. Let's see if that could be the case.
His right knee just went, you're right into the concrete.
So let's hope he's okay. You want to know the count to Manny Machado. Machado has popped to second and grounded to short. Tap slowly toward Chapman. Chapman juggles, and Machado's going to be aboard.
Had plenty of time too. He had plenty of time and just trying to get the ball in his glove, which he did correctly. And the glove came up a little bit on the heel, and once that happened, a lot of guys would use the bare hand. He used the glove, but it hit the heel of the glove. say take the chance, doing exactly what he did, even though it was an error on this one.
So error number 100 for the Athletics, and that has led to 73 unearned runs. Both numbers that the A's would like to forget about. But
well, exactly. But here's also the unearned runs. The errors are going to happen. The unearned runs are a result of a hitter following the error coming through. Right now, Chris Smith trying to prevent that from happening. Tough customer, though.
That's a nice block by Garneau. Wow.
Chapman comes in. If he catches this ball in the pocket, it's an easy out. But when it comes up right there, it puts the glove down. And when it hits on the heel of the glove, which is the closest to the wrist, that's the hardest part of the glove, and that's why it usually bounces out. You have a pocket in the glove, and that's where ideally you want to have the ball end up.
1-0 pitch to Scope, right on the outside corner, 86 miles an hour. So 1-1 the count. Scope, third in the American League in RBIs, behind Nelson Cruz and Justin Upton. Justin Upton's come out of nowhere. He's got 90 RBIs.
Yep. Well, he got familiar with the American League after last year, first year in Detroit.
Nelson Cruz with 100 RBI.
Ryan Dull's up in the bullpen. We saw him loosening between innings, and I think he's up in the bullpen now. And just wonder if Adam Jones, if he comes up to this inning, will be facing Chris Smith or Ryan Dull.
Good pitch there, 2-2.
Clean shaven Ryan Dull. He's got rid of all that stuff.
So a big pitch here with Smith at second, Machado at first. That one is drilled toward left center field, and nobody's going to get it, and it is gone. Right into the Orioles bullpen. That's a 3-run homer for Jonathan Scope. And just like that, the Orioles lead 5-1.
Just like that, 3 unearned runs. Bob Melvin was hoping that this would not happen because he probably was going to take him out. And a hanger, he stayed back, and with the power and with this park, that's a bad combination to have. And that was gone into the Orioles bullpen that quickly.
So when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and spa experts.
California. is brought to you by 21st Amendment. Join our August Fest party on August 26 from 12 to 6. Visit 21stamendment.com for details.
So the big home run by Jonathan Scope, a 3-run shot off Chris Smith, and that has made it a 5-1 game. So 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, a couple of walks, and 3 strikeouts. So here's Ryan Dull. And Dull will face Adam Jones. 2-2, 5.04 ERA for Dull. This is his 31st game. Dull pitched on Saturday in Houston. That was his last outing. Third appearance this year against the Baltimore Orioles. Adam Jones steps in. Jones has a single and a home run, and he has scored twice. His solo home run in the 4th inning gave the Orioles a 2-1 lead. That one is drilled to left field. Rajai Davis is back, and that one's gone. So the Orioles go back-to-back to make it 6-1.
And they did it twice against the A's in Oakland in the games Chris Smith started. Back-to-back twice. This one, ball comes right into the wheelhouse of Adam Jones. You know what, Kelly? I'm thinking about this wall in left field. In some parts, this isn't even a home run.
Nope,
it just gets over. Ryan Dull could not believe it. The fastball in. Remember a game, and actually in '75, Sal Bando hit the Green Monster about 5 times. Put a lot of dents in the Monster, but they were singles instead of home runs. It could have been in other parts. That ball was a rocket.
So Liam Hendriks starts to throw. So Adam Jones hit a couple of home runs. That's going to be a fair ball, foul ball, and then picked up by Dull. So Ryan Dull waited it out, and he did the right thing.
Well, especially after Mancini passed him. It's going to be tough to pick it up and throw him out. Remember the grass. See how the grass comes right up to the foul line. So it is hard. The ball started foul and then hit the edge of the grass and came back. And Ryan Dull did the best thing by jumping over, letting the ball go and getting it while in foul. But a lot of stadiums have the dirt maybe several feet. I know at Fenway there's about 3 feet between the foul line and the grass. Here the grass goes almost up to the foul line.
1-2 pitch. Looped into center field for a base hit. Mancini with a hit. Still only 1 out here in the 5th inning. There's been a walk, an error, 2 home runs, and now a single in this inning alone.
On a breaking ball, and he just flared it center field. I guess you could say he hit it like it was thrown, softly.
First pitch to Chris Davis is a fastball outside.
If Wade Miley gets this kind of run support every game, how could he lose?
And he does get it.
Yeah, I mean, that's 7 against the A's in Oakland, 6 tonight.
So 8 hits now for the Orioles. The A's have 4. Swing and a miss. Actually foul tip on a pitch that was low. 1-1. Davis has singled and grounded out to second. Chris Davis, year 2 of a 7-year, $161 million deal. And if I remember correctly at the time, Davis was a free agent. The Orioles were bidding against themselves.
What a shock. You're right.
That usually helps the team and not the player in this case.
It happened to the Rangers with one third baseman / shortstop.
161 million.
And there was a time during the negotiations that they weren't going to sign him and he was going to go elsewhere, but I don't know that anybody else would have wanted him. Check swing that he did not swing, according to John Tumpine. There's Dan Duquette, the general manager. Executive VP of baseball operations, but essentially man making the calls is the general manager.
So now 3-2 the count. Mancini not going anywhere, and Davis checks his swing and he walks. So 2 on 1 out. And Emerson's going to chat with Dahl, who has faced 3 hitters. He's given up a home run, a single, and now a walk. So this inning has gotten away from the Athletics. Seattle Mariners interleague game tonight in Atlanta. They're leading 5-2 over the Braves in the 4th inning. Another game crucial for the Mariners. That one, the big series going on, at least the first part of this week, is the Red Sox at Cleveland. A couple of first place teams with World Series hopes. Red Sox leading the Indians 4-3 in the bottom of the 5th. Those 2 teams have some playoff history. First pitch to Trumbo is in the dirt. National League wild card race has changed a little bit. All of a sudden the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, their firm grip on the 2 wild card spots, not that firm anymore. Trumbo toward Powell. Powell drifts into left center field to make the catch. So 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th, and the 9th man to bat in the inning will come up. That's Castillo.
He got away with one there as a hanging breaking ball.
Look at that. All of a sudden the Brewers are only 2.5 back. Cardinals 4 back. So really for about the last 3 months, ever since the Dodgers just kind of took off, you just figured, you know what, Rockies and D-backs were going to be the 2 wild card teams. That's not the case now. The Brewers are in the mix.
Now for those teams, there's a lot of baseball remaining, and this is just the 21st of August, which all of September, and of course we know how things can change during the month of September, especially with the September call-ups.
1-0 the count to Wellington. Castillo is hit into a double play and struck out. 4 runs in this inning and a couple of home runs by Baltimore. There's a strike. Slider away, 82 miles an hour.
Bob Melvin would have preferred to have Ryan Dahl come in with the bases loaded. If Scope could have done something other than hit a 3-run home run, that is something that a manager really does not want to see. And Ryan Dahl has been so good coming in and cleaning up messes. He didn't get the chance as the 3-run home run. That made a big difference in this game. Jones led off, made it 3-1, but the 3-run home run is always tough on a team.
2-2 to Wellington Castillo. Castillo lays off the slider. And he has worked the count full, and the runners Mancini at second and Chris Davis at first will taken off on the pitch. 3-2, 2 outs. Go the runners. Ball's bounced up the middle. Simeon has it. Fires to first, and that will do it. But the Orioles have a big inning. 4 times. 3-run homer by Scope, solo homer by Jones, and it's now 6-1 Baltimore after 5.
Visit OaklandBallpark.com, where you get a voice in the shaping of the ballpark plan in Oakland. It's going to happen, folks. Being rooted in Oakland starts with you, so help us by visiting OaklandBallpark.com today.
So all Orioles tonight, 6-1, but there's still some time for the A's to make a move. Simeon, Lowry, and Davis here in the 6th against Miley. Miley has gone 5 innings. He's walked 3. He has struck out 4. He's given up 4 hits. On the right field line, a long run for Seth Smith, and he's not going to quite get there. So 1-1 the count to Marcus Simeon. Marcus is grounded out and struck out. And Miley, as we showed you early in the game, his career numbers against the A's, very good.
Why? Why? Because of that right there.
1-2 now to Marcus.
He's got to be feeling pretty good about himself right now. He's got a big lead, 5-run lead. It was trailing 1-0, tied 1-1, up 2-1, up 6-1. 7 innings, 1 run unearned in his last start against the A's. Showalter's comment about the Orioles yesterday. He said when you walk 9, you don't expect to win as a team. Padres trying to help the A's tonight, but unfortunately, as was the case in Houston, every time it seemed the A's got a runner on base, it would be a double play. That happened last inning. Bases loaded. Instead of a big inning for the A's, turns out to be an inning-ending double play.
And he went. So Simeon tried to hold up, couldn't do it, and that is strikeout number 5. So the big news today, of course, the eclipse. Put your gloves on. Put your glasses on. Check this out.
Wow.
This was done by Sean O'Connell, who's working in the tape room down in the TV truck for us tonight. And
wow,
how awesome was that?
That's great.
Nice job, Sean. Smith going back. Smith at the wall, and that baby's gone. Lowry homers to right center field. So that makes it 6-2.
Oh, we talked about this park being conducive for home runs, the opposite field especially for Jed Lowry. And it just went out very quickly to right center. So run number 11, but his first since mid-July, right after the break, and hit the top of the wall and bounced in to the seats.
Chris Davis goes after the first pitch, pops up 2. Chris Davis, 2 outs. I don't think Lowry's ball is out.
No.
At the Coliseum.
No, I don't either. And hit on top of the ledge and then into the seats. That's 373, and the ball jumps here.
I think that ball bangs off the wall.
Yeah,
at the Coliseum.
I think you're right.
And he hit it good. Well, that's his 11th home run of the year.
You have to even wonder about Scopes and Adam Jones. I mean,
line drive.
they were 3-line drives. I mean, they're home runs here, but it's amazing what a short wall does for you as a hitter.
You talked about the dimensions, and in left center field it says 364. 364 is not very far.
That's right.
So the simple distance is not very far.
Well,
the wall is short, and it's hot.
That's right.
Ball flies. There's really not a lot of wind in this ballpark because of the buildings that are surrounding the park.
And you compare to Yankee Stadium, it says 364 here. It's 385 to left center at Yankee Stadium and 385 in right center. And you add 20 more feet, you've got maybe extra base hits, but you definitely don't have home runs.
So just from a visual standpoint, as we sit here and look out, that means that a home run in left center field at Yankee Stadium, the home run fence is like in the Orioles bullpen.
20 feet dead. It's 21 feet deep.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
there's the Orioles bullpen out in left center field, the lower portion of the bullpen. The A's are up on top.
And I think what happens in this park too, Kai, you talked about the way the ball carries. As a hitter, you're up there feeling strong about every pitch you get. You feel all I have to do is make solid contact. It's got a chance to go.
You feel hitterish.
Yeah. Is that a word?
It is now. It is in this ballpark.
I always like when somebody says you got hitting shoes on. Well, what if you don't have those shoes on? Are you not a hitter?
So Healy strikes out for the second time. The A's get a run on Lowry's home run as he hits a line shot toward right center field. So Lowry's 11th of the year. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, it's now 6-2 Baltimore. T-Mobile, what's going on in the big leagues? Bartolo Colon, our old friend, third active pitcher to defeat all 30 current teams. He beat the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday. Bryce Hoskins is having the sweet start to his career. A couple of home runs in San Francisco, 5 home runs in his first 11 games, and he's from Sacramento. Gio's hot, 4-0 in his last 4 starts. That's good news for the Washington Nationals as they get themselves ready for postseason. And telling you, get all those Nationals healthy, and that's a terrific team. We saw them at the Coliseum. Orioles 6, A's 2, bottom of the 6th inning. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. It's your trusted oil change tune-up and smog expert. So Liam Hendriks comes in, third pitcher of the night for the A's, trailing 6-2.
Was it 2015 when Tim Hudson beat the A's as a member of the Giants, and that was picking up his win against every team?
So he got
the
all
A's,
3.
The A's was the last team that he had to beat. He beat them.
Makes sense.
And see, that was the year, and then the following, well, later in the season, it went against Barry Zito at the Coliseum on the Saturday afternoon.
Kind of a fun day.
Tim Hudson in retirement.
Seth Smith led off the 5th inning with a walk. And the Orioles scored 4 times, so 6-2 Baltimore.
So you're saying a leadoff walk is not good?
Yeah.
It usually isn't.
Never has been. Seth Smith's going to be a free agent at the end of this season. Still a pretty good hitter.
Yeah, A's, the Orioles were in Oakland. There was talk of a young player in the minor leagues that should be up and coming and may take over that spot. Yeah, ideally, I mean, you have the core players, and Dan Duquette knows, having been with the Red Sox, you get a core of players, core group, and certain guys actually are free agents. You bring in a young guy to keep the core together, but bring the youngsters in. At that point, you continue to have a good club, but you develop young players, and as players get older and free agents or retire, and you have the youngsters coming up right behind them.
Seth Smith will be 35 at the end of September. And he strikes out on a high fastball. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Well, he went inside with a fastball, then upstairs with a 95, and Liam Hendriks can throw hard, as he continues to show when he comes in.
So Ryan Dull goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up a couple of hits and a run on the home run by Jones. He walked 1, did not strike anybody out. Chris Smith went 4 1/3. Curve from Liam Hendriks. Maybe a slider. Beckham has struck out, singled, and fouled out. Healy made a nice play right in front of the Orioles dugout. Fastball at 96, a little bit outside.
It's funny, every time you see that pitch, which looks like a strike, and you always think of the angle of the umpire looking at the outside part of the plate and just wondering sometimes whether it's a strike or whether it's not a strike. But inside, they're critical. Look where the umpire sets up. That slot is, they talk about.
Luke Powell gets there, and he's got it, 2-1. Also sometimes leaves the umpire unprotected.
Yeah, like Jerry Lane in Houston.
So 2 away for Manny Machado.
See, Hendriks is what Machado, this is the type of pitcher he likes, because Hendriks can throw 95. Also has a very good slider. But unlike what Chris Smith was throwing 85, 87, he'll take this any day.
0 for 3. He did reach on an error and score in the 5th inning. That was a big play. So 2-0 the count. It's hard to believe Manny Machado, only 25 years old. Seems like he's been playing for a long time.
All I know is that left foot just keeps moving and moving and moving, and now the fastball location inside. And
you better not miss with this guy.
They pitched him enough inside, just wondering. And sometimes they have the scouting reports, and it may be, okay, pitch this guy a certain way, but you also have to factor in who your pitcher is, and can he do that? Or is that the best way for that particular pitcher? And that all the more reason to pitch to the pitcher's strengths versus the hitter's weakness. And you might know that the hitter is susceptible to maybe a pitch inside, but is the pitch thrown hard enough or good enough by the particular pitcher? That's where scouting reports can change.
What a good swing at that one. You mentioned the extra base hits. A handful of guys have, I don't know if it's a handful, maybe 100 extra base hits in a season. Last year Machado had a terrific season. He had 40 doubles, 37 homers, and a triple. So that's 78. That shows you how hard it is to do.
I remember when Albert Bell, of course, he was at a time when everything he hit was hard, and I think it was 50 and 50 that he hit.
I'm trying to think. Is he not the only one to ever do that?
Musial.
Stan Musial. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember when Albert did it, and it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was, because it's so rare.
Yeah. Big chop for Chapman. Throws across, and Hendricks has a 3-up, 3-down inning. We are moving to the 7th from Baltimore. Work to do for the A's. They trail 6-2. Baseball Classic, USA Dominican Republic. Manny Machado robbed of a home run by Adam Jones. Teammates in the summertime, but not during the World Baseball Classic. Thank you very much. Pretty good stuff. And USA would win the tournament for the first time. So you don't see that very often. Adam Jones robbing Manny Machado.
See that short wall? Jumped up over the wall and brought it back.
At San Diego.
Craig Gentry goes into right field for Seth Smith, so the speedster who was with the A's for a brief amount of time.
So Miley back to work. First pitch to Pinder is a little bit low. Pinder has walked and singled. And now it's 1-1. Chapman to follow, and then Garneau. Watch the faces behind Adam Jones. It's almost like a photograph. That's the best thing to do when you see something like that. Look at the faces behind him. The girl to his right is screaming. The one guy's in awe. Lots of cutters, no surprise there. It's been a good pitch for him. And I think there it was again.
Well, it's a great pitch to throw on a fastball count, because if it moves, it's not going to be as hard velocity wise as a fastball, where a hitter gears up and you have just enough movement. With a great Justin Dukeshire would always throw the cut fastball, and how much he said that really helped get the hitter off the sweet part of the bat.
A little bit low, and Pinder walks for the second time. So as Ray said, Gentry now in right field, Smith out. And Buck Showalter's coming out. That's 4 walks for Miley. So that's been a problem for him all year.
Buck didn't run out. He normally sprints out, but got on the grass and then pointed, said, nice goal, bring in a reliever.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and small experts.
California is brought to you by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking. We pay you.
(6-2) Orioles lead, 7th inning from Baltimore. Wade Miley 6+ innings as he is done for the night. He's got a chance to get his 7th win, but he's going to need his bullpen to get 9 outs.
You think about Zach Britton, though Adelson hit him for a home run. That's rare, but essentially if they get 6, Britton has been almost unhittable coming in to try to save the 9th. O'Day pitched a couple of times at Oakland in the 2 wins that the Orioles had against the Athletics.
First pitch is a slider for a strike. Matt Chapman has doubled and struck out. That one not close. The Orioles have a pretty good bullpen, but the A's hitters did a good job against them in that 4-game series at the Coliseum. Casilla in the bullpen above. That's Richard Blyer, the left-hander. Chapman bunts, and it's going to roll foul. So
too much spin on it.
Had a good idea.
See the spin, it spins it. If it had gone just straight, probably would have had a base hit, but it had a tremendous spin, the top spin that took it from there. Once it hit the ground, immediate left into foul territory. See the grass probably within about 4 to 5 inches of the foul line. Really, it's great for a bunting team, because if you get the ball on the grass, it's not going to roll foul if it does not have that kind of spin. Bruce Maxwell with the bat. Good to see that he looks like he's okay to play tonight.
Said he's feeling better.
Yep.
Got a good night's sleep last night. 2-2 to Chapman. So that's good news. You see, he's been warming up for a while, so he's ready. Pinder the runner at first. These need to string some hits together. This one's hit high in the air. Gentry backs up. Now Gentry waits, and he's got it. So Chapman hits a high fly ball to right field for the first out. Not a real big crowd tonight. 16,020 Monday night. 16020. Orioles averaging on the year 26,000 per game. Here's Maxwell pinch hitting. So Maxwell hitting for Garneau. It's Darren O'Day. And that one not close.
The reason he did play yesterday because of this. At the top of the mask, but you could hear it, but you also got a little bit of the helmet. But needless to say, when it pushes the catcher back that far, there's concern. And he had to sit out yesterday when the right-hander was on the mound for the Astros.
And he said that night he just did not sleep very well. Didn't feel great, but last night felt much better. Slept much better, and he's ready to go tonight.
Well, he had the flight, you know, the altitude. That's always a concern, man, when you got head issues and you have to get on a plane.
Inside, and now it's 2-1. Luke Powell waits in the on-deck circle. Pick there by O'Day. A slider, backdoor slider. Tough pitch for a left-handed hitter to pull the trigger on.
Yeah, it goes right, and that's a perfect pitch right on the outside corner. Stayed there, really didn't break around and come around the plate.
Maxwell bounces it right toward the bag at second. And that's going to be a double play. So Beckham picked it up. All he had to do was step on the bag, throw to first for the double play. 7th inning stretch from Baltimore.
an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By AAA, get a free canvas backpack. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/roadtrip or to a AAA branch for details. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. And by Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV.
All right. Youngster wearing the green and gold. As it should be. Here in Baltimore, the A's trailing 6-2 when it's time for change. Think speedy oil change and tune-up. It's your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. So here is Santiago Casilla. Smith, Dahl, Hendricks, and now Casilla. So Casilla will face Scope, Jones, and Mancini. Three right-handed power hitters in this Orioles lineup. Orioles 3 home runs tonight. Scope 3-run shot, and Adam Jones has a pair of home runs. So his pitch is hit in the air down the right field line, and Healy runs out of room.
And Scope just said, you know, in Oakland, we were just there. That's an out.
That is a full.
That's an out. All that foul territory. Not a lot here, Camden Yards.
Scope, a 3-run homer in the 5th inning, and that changed the complexion of the game. We went from 2-1 to 5-1. So he now has 27 homers and 91 RBIs. He's got a pretty good chance to get to 100 RBIs for the first time in his career. Some changes for the A's. We saw Maxwell pinch hit, so he's in the game at catcher. Pinder moves from right field to shortstop, and there's Matt Olson who comes in the game. So basically, Matt Olson is in Marcus Simeon's spot. We don't know why Marcus came out.
He struck out, okay, there was kind of that funny look on his hand, or his eyes, and maybe the hand. Of course, he had the surgery on the right hand, and the pitch was inside. He started trying to hold up the swing. And I don't know if something happened then, because that's the only thing I can think of. Good pitch by Casilla, getting the strikeout. A fastball running up and in. At times when a hitter tries to hold up, he starts his swing and holds up a hand, wrist, you know, can affect that. But of course, he had the surgery on the right hand. Let's hope it's not something along those lines. I hope he's all right, whatever it is.
One away for Adam Jones.
What it does show is the versatility of Matt Olson. Go from first base to right field. Of course, when he's up, while Alonso was here, he was playing a lot of right field.
And Jones got another hit. Well, this is what Ray's talking about. The Simeon strikeout. Oh yeah, that would hurt.
Yeah. And they just wonder, because it's a right hand where you try to hold up, and this right hand's where he had the surgery.
So Jones aboard. In the meantime, Adam Jones has 4 hits. And he's been tough on the A's this year. Mancini's got a hit and a walk. Adam Jones this year is 11 for 21 with 4 home runs against the A's in 5 games. Whatever the A's are doing, it's not working with Adam Jones. 4 homers and 9 RBIs in 5 games.
Think Seattle would like to have him. It's a great trade for the Orioles. And actually, for Adam Jones to come and play in this park. Swing the bat as well as he does. Safeco field just a little bit bigger, cooler weather. Don't have to worry about that here.
1-2 to Trey Mancini. Mancini. I wasn't sure where that one was. It rolled behind him.
Spoke of the versatility of Matt Olson playing in right field, but also for Chad Pittman. So really able to pinch hit. Maxwell stays in the game. Olson comes in, goes to right field. The right fielder Pinder comes in to shortstop because of the versatility. And he can play any position, infield and outfield.
Right field, down the line, Olson hustling over, and it's just foul. How close was it to being a fair ball? No, not that close. There's a little corner there where the right fielder can disappear for a little while. We've seen it happen. Inside, and it hit Mancini
right in the chest.
And Mancini says, "I'm okay."
2-strike fastball running inside. Richie Van Sells, longtime trainer for the Orioles. This ball, fastball, and one he struck out. The first hitter, Scope. How can you say you're okay? That hurt just listening to it. Wow.
A chest protector on?
It sounded like a chest protector.
He may be my new hero, Trey Mancini.
You know what that is? That's a rookie said, "I want to play." Just let me play. I don't care. Hit me wherever you want to. That did not sound good. That is all right.
Here's Chris Davis. Davis, a single, a ground out, and a walk. Good swing there. 95 miles an hour from Santiago Casilla. So 0-1 the count to the big slugger, Chris Davis. 19 home runs this year. Got a shift for him, although he can hit the ball the other way with lots of power. It's not a problem. Getting shifty with it. Players with most defensive shifts against this season. No surprise there. Bruce, Gallo, Davis, Rizzo, and Morrison.
Get shifty with it.
Getting shifty with it. Not to be confused with getting jiggy with it. Speed pitch. Davis lays off.
Well, I know what Josh Hood does when he's on the plane to bat. He's back to thinking about what I can come up with next.
Josh Hood, our very fine graphics operator, and that is indeed what he does on the airplane. Sits and thinks. Just missed. 3-1. Be careful here.
Well, I wouldn't get you carefully this guy with Mark Trumbull in the on-deck circle. I mean, they're both very good hitters. There's the big man who is in the on-deck circle.
Swing and a miss. Kept the ball away from him.
A little bit of an uppercut swing, and that's what showed on that particular swing. And he's trying to hit over the shift with that swing.
So 3-2. The runners are Jones at second, Mancini at first. not going, and it's a swing and a miss. Pitch was up a little bit. Davis strikes out.
Well, you can understand why it's hard for Buck Showalter to send base runners with him at the plate, because he's going to swing through a few times. That's especially with a left-handed hitter, and all the more reason with a shift. You got 3 guys the right side, which opens up third base and running target for the catcher. Is always say very difficult, but you just don't want to take a chance.
And that was the 140th time that Davis has struck out in 93 games. So here's Trumbo. Trumbo hits one high and foul down the right field line. Even the foul balls go a long ways here, Ray. That looked like just a regular old pop foul, and went all the way down the right field line. Trumbo drove in the Orioles' first run with a sacrifice fly in the second inning. And he singled in the fourth, and a fly ball to center field in the fifth. The White Sox beat the Twins 7-6 in game 1 of that doubleheader. So that helps the teams that are chasing the Twins and the Angels and the Yankees. That one chopped back to Casilla, who grabs it. Underhands to first, side retired. So a couple of runners stranded, and we're moving to the 8th inning from Camden Yards. It's 6-2 Orioles.
Baseball Hall of Famer Dennis Eckersley. That's at 4 p.m. this Friday, August the 25th. Members of X-Family and former teammates Ricky Henderson, Carney Lines for Mike Moore, Terry Steinbach will attend. Also join us for Dennis Eckersley Day on Saturday the 26th, when 15,000 fans receive an Eckersley bobblehead. It's presented by Chevron Extra Mile. Visit athletics.com/tickets. You want to get a bobblehead of a Hall of Famer? Already got Ricky's. Might as well get Eck. Oh. Heck with that long wavy hair, and put the fist up saying, I got it.
So Brad Brock comes in for his 52nd appearance, 2.81 ERA. Remember game 2 of that series at the Coliseum just a week and a half ago. The A's came back, scored a couple of runs in the bottom of the 8th, and beat the Orioles. Well, they scored those runs off Brock.
That's right.
Got nasty stuff, but the A's got to him that night. So he'll face Powell Davis, and then Olson are in the top of the 8th inning. Powell has walked twice. Just a bit outside. Yesterday in Houston, Powell had the 3-hit game. And tonight, he's been on base a couple of times. Thought it was telling today, Ray, that Powell started against a left-hander.
That's right.
Even though he's batting down in the lineup, but still.
Shows a lot.
Take a long look at it. 1-2 the count to Luke Powell. Chokes up just a little bit on the bat. Spoils a pretty good pitch by him.
And this is after a Matt Joyce double, Semien single, and then that ball. A ground rule double. He's thinking that should have been 2. A's would score an unearned run. They scored 2 and they won the game 5-4. But that was Jed Lowry, his 37th double to right center, ball that was bounced in. You know, it's interesting what Buck Showalter said about yesterday. I thought it was interesting. We've talked about it before, where 3-2, both runners on the move. A ball was hit the top of the wall, ground rule double. He said, wait a minute, if both runners are moving, it's 3-2. Why would it be a ground rule double? And there's been a lot of times where that's happened. But Buck says maybe that shouldn't be the case. We should think about that.
Deep to right field.
Think about this.
And that baby's gone. Boot Powell homers in Baltimore.
And he can go pick up the ball tomorrow from Boog's Barbecue where the ball landed. Wow.
So how ironic, Ray. Boog Powell hits his first career home run in Baltimore.
In Boog's Barbecue.
Boog's Barbecue.
That's great.
And that was no cheapie, folks. He hit that ball well over the out-of-town scoreboard on the right field line.
Well, it's the 8th inning, and Brock's pitching. Could we have the magic again?
So now 6-3, and here's Rajay Davis.
Okay, as you said, with Boog Powell starting against the lefty, he's got walk, home run. Walk against Miley, and then the home run against the righty. So he's in the lineup, doesn't have to be put in as a pinch hitter, stays in the game.
Rajay Davis, 1 around, says Ted Barrett. Rajay Davis has grounded out 3 times, twice into a double play. That does not happen very much with Rajay Davis.
Well, you think about the 6 double plays the A's had in Houston, 3 tonight, and 3 big ones. And a leadoff walk in the 3rd, bases loaded in the 5th, and a leadoff walk in the 7th, eliminated by double plays.
So Rajay now behind in the count, 1-2. Is that our guy? So he somehow moved from left field to right field. He caught a home run ball in left field earlier.
This should be interesting what he's going to ask for.
He's going to ask for the entire A's organization, an ownership stake, a Ray Fosse autograph.
Now, wait a minute. He's in
glove.
left field. How did he get to right field? How did he get this ball? How did he know Boog Powell was going to hit his home run? That was a great swing. Elevated fastball. And Boog Powell into Boog Powell. Slow down, kid. Don't want to be like Dwayne Piper. Sprinting around the bases. Oh, wow. Did you see that? He must go from left field to right field depending on the hitter.
That's too much work for me. But you may be right.
Because remember, he's left field when he caught the home run ball.
There he is.
And he says, I got a chance to make some money on this one. knocking people over. Got the A's cap. But you know, the one difference in what Boog Powell just did, while granted we saw the home run,
Olson rips one into right field. It's going to bounce off the wall. Olson's going to have to hurry. Gentry's throw is just a little bit late. No, it's not. They got him.
Wow. Bob Melvin, is he going to take a look at it? Chip Hale said, hold on, let's take a look at it. And Matt Olson with Craig Gentry and a very strong throw. I think he got it, okay?
He did get it.
I think he got it. Because watch the front foot come up, and that's what cost him, because the front foot came up, and when that came up, he got him before the back foot got in. Watch the right foot. Comes up, gets him on the left.
There's the slide,
That's
right?
it. That's the pop-up or the back slide. And
you know, and if you watch it close, that's like if the foot stays down and slides directly into the bag, he's safe.
That's right. And we see some guys do that. See guys at the home plate do it, keep the foot on the ground and slide through. But the problem, just watch the front foot. He goes back, the front foot goes up, and it gets him on the knee before really the right. So that's the left foot that was sliding. It came up.
So the A's are going to look at it.
Well, it's the eighth inning, and you know it's really, you might as well take a chance. I get lucky, but foot up. Actually, it is the right foot that comes up, and the left foot knee looks like it's tags him the knee right there. Or did he? Maybe he didn't.
That's the question.
Yeah, maybe he missed him and got him in the midsection. Maybe Angel thought he got him. But looking at that last one, maybe as he went in, that he went between the legs and got him in the midsection after his foot touched the bag. Let's see again. Because the throw, the right foot is going to hit the ground and come up. Now, is the tag applied there, or did he miss him? I think Angel thought he got him, but that would look like he might have missed him, Kate.
No, he goes back to what was the call.
Yeah. I just wonder if they're saying that it looked like the tag was applied before the foot hit the bag. As we saw in Houston, that if this is upheld, Bob Melvin on a critical play in the ninth inning still could go to Ted Barrett, the crew chief, and ask for a chief umpire crew chief review, which is what happened in Houston.
And he's out. So the call stands. So Olson, give him a single, but he's thrown out at second base. So that is a huge play.
Especially when you're trailing by 3. You're right. Actually hit it too hard because it came back to Craig Gentry, who made a strong throw.
So 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Lowry. Lowry has hit a fly ball to right, ground out to third, and a home run. And that one is foul. Ted Barrett had to make sure he got out of the way. Wasn't foul by a lot.
Ball is hooking, and you're right. Ted gets out of the way, jumps up, and it's just, you see the indentation in the dirt, just barely.
Yep, that was foul. Good call by Ted Barrett. You gonna argue with him? Ah. Does he not look like a high school gym teacher? Huh?
That works out every day?
Every day. And you're scared to death of him. 0-1 pitch is popped up.
Just the second home run for Jed Lowry from the right side. Jordan Montgomery of the Yankees, he hit from the right side. So Jed against Wade Miley, the lefty. Jed a switch hitter, batting right-handed against the lefty.
11 home runs now for Lowry, along with a whole bunch of doubles, 38 to be exact, and a couple of triples. One and two the count. Luke Powell with a home run here in the 8th inning to shave the lead down 6-3. Red Sox still leading the Indians 4-3 in the 7th inning in Cleveland. Driven toward left center, Adam Jones on the move, and Jones grabs it side, retired. Luke Powell with his first big league home run, and he hit it well. Headed for Boog's Barbecue. 6-3, bottom of the 8th coming up.
Is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
Here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-7-1 for the A's, 6-9-0 for the Orioles. Orioles doing what they do best. They hit home runs. They've hit 3 tonight. The A's have hit a couple. Lowry and Powell. Powell his first big league home run, but just one more shot for the Athletics here in game 1 of this 3-game series. So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and small experts, as Michael Brady comes in, his 10th appearance. No record, a 4.37 ERA. So Brady is pitcher number 5 tonight. And Castillo to lead it off. Gentry to follow, and then the top of the order, Beckham. Hitless night for Wellington Castillo. Olsen hustling over, but that one is going to head into the seats. So 1-1 the count. It's been a while for Michael Brady. fact, the last time he pitched, it was against these Baltimore Orioles on the 12th of August. That was the Saturday game of that weekend series where the Orioles won it 12-5. That's when Manaea could not get out of the first inning, and the A's needed Brady in a big way, and he came through
in a big way.
5 1/3.
Where do you get a flight to? Which he did. Unfortunate. He should just maybe pitch an inning and say, I'm done. If you're going to reward me with a flight to Nashville, I think I'm finished after an inning. And he took one for the team, took one for the bullpen.
Two pitch pops off the glove of Maxwell. Maxwell was actually a pretty good pitch. A little bit off the plate. Payoff pitch is belted to left center field, and it's hit time. Wow. Number 13 for Wellington Castillo, and number 4 for the Orioles tonight. It's 7-3.
That's what you do with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle of the plate. Brady's got a good slider. Been a perfect time to throw one too, because he has a control unlike this fastball, right belt high, 93, sounded. Close your eyes and just listen. And it was gone. And that's why that shoulder had 2 guys warming up in the bullpen. One, Zach Britton, the other, a non-closer. That's who's going to be coming in more than likely. Who's that? Alexander? Who?
Alec Asher.
Asher.
Here's Gentry's first at bat. So the Orioles now in 5 games against the A's this year have hit 10 home runs. .185 for the season. Came in 3rd in the American League in that category. There's that good slider that you're talking about.
Yeah, he could have just thrown it right in the middle of the plate. Just the fact that it's off speed. It's Castillo. A double play, a strikeout, a ground out, and a solo home run. Just made his night.
Saved his night. Yeah. And that's a fastball, cut fastball, strike 3 call. Good pitch that time by Michael Brady.
Now, season ticket memberships for the 2018 season are on sale as part of the A's new innovative program focused on increased benefits, flexibility, and discounts. The program rewards tenure and includes exciting discounts on concessions, eliminates ticket exchange limitations, and provides exclusive new experiences and events for members. Renew or purchase new season ticket memberships now at athletics.com/2018. It's a good idea. Great idea. Memberships, season tickets.
First pitch to Beckham is a strike. Beckham 1 for 4. Singled back in the 3rd inning. So Casilla goes 1 inning, gives up a hit. Hit a batter, also had a couple of strikeouts. So Smith, Dull, Hendricks, Casilla, and Brady for the A's tonight. Right toward Boog Powell. Doesn't have to move a whole lot.
Time now for the Jeep drives of the game. Of course, 4 home runs hit by the Orioles, but 2 by their center fielder. The first one, Adam Jones. That would give them a 2-1 lead, a line drive into the left field seats. And then he would come up with his next at bat against Ryan Doe. The fastball down and in, and it will also go into the seats in left field. So for me and Mr. Jones. Matter of fact, that's what Joe Angel says. Me and Mr. Jones.
He does?
Yeah. He stole it from Hoodie.
Me and Mr. Jones?
Well, not me, but he calls him Mr.
Jones. Okay.
Now only Hoodie has the song references. So I wish that.
And it wouldn't be the song reference would not be Mr. Jones, it would be Mrs. Jones.
Mrs. Jones. But I'd say he called Adam Mr. Me and Mrs. Jones. That's right.
1-1 to Manny Machado. Maxwell sets up inside. Good pitch by Brady. 94 miles an hour. Machado 0 for 4. He did reach on an error and score in the 5th. Adam Jones with 4 hits tonight. 4 for 4. We showed you the 2 home runs. He's also singled a couple times. Olsen in and over. And Olsen's got it. Side retired. Home run for Wellington Castillo, his 13th of the year. So 9th inning coming up. 7-3. Orioles lead.
How about Boog Powell into the Boog Powell Boog's Barbecue? And that's exactly where it ended up. And congratulations to Boog Powell hitting his first major league home run to right field. And that's where he will be tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be there as well, or they'll bring some of that good stuff up here tomorrow. Well, that's a good old-fashioned barbecue there. You know, I started to say that was right after the time that this is Alec Asher coming in to pitch. It's not Zach Britton. But with that ball going out there, it's his first major league home run. We saw it, but you can't authenticate it because you don't know that that's the actual ball. Now that young man that we saw get the ball, and he's going to run in and he's going to try to ask for, like you said, the whole organization. Oh, he's back. But I remember Steve Vucinic said one time when there was somebody who got a first home run ball and he wanted everything. He says, all you have is a baseball. You can't authenticate it. So why don't you just give it up? And it's not like it's a hologram on it that's authenticated. So I don't know what. Let's just hope he was nice enough to give it. When Derek Jeter got his 3,000th hit and it was a home run, the guy brought it in and said, here, you deserve it. It's your ball. I mean, that's what you should do. Don't try to hold ransom for the guy.
2-1 to Chris Davis, followed by Healy and Pinder against Alec Asher. Right on the outside corner. So 2-2. Make sure you stay tuned for A's Postgame Live, presented by State Farm, coming up after the ball game. Mindy Bach and Bip Roberts. We'll give you the full hour tonight's ball game, which right now the Orioles are leading 7-3. Davis has worked the count full. Davis has grounded out, struck out, and fouled out, so he's 0 for 3. Asher's ready. Here's the payoff pitch to Davis. And Davis rolls a foul. Orioles got Asher right at the end of spring training from the Phillies. He's actually made 6 starts for the Orioles this year. To go along with this being his 16th appearance out of the bullpen. Backhanded by Scope. Throws to first. Davis cannot dig it out, and the A's have a base runner. So the error is going to be on Scope for the throw.
And he had time to set and throw instead of running on the move and throwing a sinker, because KD had just gotten to the bag. As the ball got to Scope very quickly, and Davis could not come up with it. He actually tried to backhand a ball that all they had to do is just reach out and catch it.
The Orioles made that play a lot more difficult than it
exactly
really was.
Right. Exactly. And some guys kind of do the backhand scoop instead of just reaching out and stretch and catch the ball instead of having not even short hop.
So here's Healy, who takes the strike.
You know, Kipe, if another guy gets on base, Zach Britton's coming in.
That's a good call.
And that would be the tying run of the on-deck circle. I don't know that Buck Showalter sometimes to get your closer up and you bring somebody else in to start, when ultimately the guy's going to come in. Why not just start the inning? Because as automatic as he is, while it's not a save, but if he's up now twice, which he's up again,
heads up.
Yeah, bring him in. There he is, Mr. Automatic.
Well, 0-2 to Healy. Healy taps that one foul. Healy walked and scored in the second inning. Since then he has struck out a couple of times. Make sure you join us tomorrow, as we'll have game 2 of this 3-game series for you. Paul Blackburn and Ubaldo Jimenez. You can also stream the A's on the go with NBCSportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app. This pregame live starts at 3 o'clock tomorrow. So Blackburn, who's done a good job for the Athletics, against Ubaldo Jimenez. Striking 3 called, and Healy knew it. So Healy strikes out for the 3rd time. A's as a team now have struck out 8 times tonight.
Perfectly thrown. Little two-seamer coming back on the corner. And after he fouled the ball off his foot, maybe he had no desire to try to go after that one.
So 1 out. Here's Pinder. Pinder has yet to be retired tonight. He has walked twice and singled. Pinder takes a little bit outside. Pinder getting the start in right field tonight. He's made 52 starts now this year at 5 different positions. It's the 15th time he started a game in right field.
I still say he could be current Ben Zobrist, the late Tony Phillips. These guys could play a lot of different positions, but get the quality at bats. And he's just going to get better and better as a hitter, regardless where he plays. Got a very, very strong arm, as he's shown from the outfield. Brings it out on the infield, can do the same thing.
Machado comes in onto the grass. Instead, it's Beckham, the shortstop, who grabs it. So Pinder is retired. So 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. So in steps Matt Chapman. Chapman a double with an RBI and then a strikeout and a fly ball to right field. His double was to right field. So Alec Asher trying to wrap it up for the Orioles. First pitch is on the outside corner for a strike. Asher trying to get Wade Miley a win. Chapman lays off that breaking ball, so good take by Matt Chapman. A little cut fastball, 90 miles an hour. So night game tomorrow, day game on Wednesday before the A's head home. Actually, it's a 3 o'clock start local time on Wednesday.
Just enough to qualify for a day game. Head west. Just picked it up 3 hours. 6-hour flight.
Pitch to Chapman, and it's just a little bit outside, so Chapman walks.
Here he comes.
And Buck Showalter is coming out.
And Bruce Maxwell, you can't pinch hit for him. He's the only catcher left. I guess he could, but he's not.
So Britton coming in. American League record on the 23rd of July. He converted his 55th consecutive save opportunity. There's a new American League consecutive save opportunity record. He passed Tom Gordon. So Britton, that record is still going. He's now at 59 straight. Eric Gagne has the major league record, 84.
84 straight.
Eric Gagne just lumbering in from the bullpen.
He's a big old guy, wasn't he?
So here is Zach Britton to face Maxwell. 2 on, 2 out.
Take him deep. That's a turbo sinker. And if you lay off that pitch, you may have a chance. And for a lefty on a lefty, maybe that's the way to do it. And then you got Booger coming up next.
pitch, a tapped foul, and this is a save opportunity with the tying run in the on-deck circle. That is the rule if you come in the middle of an inning, and that is the case here. So 1-1 the count to Maxwell, who pinch hit in the 7th inning and hit into a double play. A little bit outside, 97 miles an hour. Pop in the mid of Wellington Castillo. You could hear that one up here.
I hate to say it, but Castillo's home run was big. I mean, granted, if he had not hit it, then Britton would have started the 9th inning fresh. That was a big run, made it a 4-run game.
Bounce to Davis. Britton's going to have to get over there. He does. He steps on the bag, and that's the ball game. So Britton comes in, and he does indeed pick up the save. It's his 11th save of the year, and Wade Miley gets his 7th win. So Miley is the winner. Chris Smith is the loser, and tonight's time of game, 3 hours and 12 minutes, and the attendance here at Camden Yards, 16,020. Game 1